Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another layout that was supposed to be a Woodgrain and Winter layout, but I did not pick out any wood grain whatsoever, except for my wood veneer pieces from the Advent calendar for today, which is day 8. I have all of these really cool cameras, as well as a couple of the Instamatic film pictures, and then this super cool set of wreaths that I thought went with cameras really well, because about 80% of them have these really cool stars. So I'm just going to fan through them really quickly. Some of them have the leaves and things on them, but most of them have stars around them. And of course, you guys all know that is my favorite shape in the whole wide world. So I could not resist pairing them with some cameras. I've got a couple pictures of my husband and middle son decorating the tree for 2022. And then actually, I think they were adding lights to it. I think we went with a smaller tree this year. And then from Graphic 45, I have this sticker sheet. And then from Thickers or American Crafts, I've got Warm Wishes. I forget that I have these puffy words. So I'm going to make for a quick title. I'm going to double map my photo on a piece of off-white cardstock that I had hanging around my desk, as well as this plaid. So here's the Graphic 45 paper. I think it's called Christmas Time. Yes, Christmas Time. And it has all of these gears. You guys, I could not wait. It's from 2020, so it is a fairly old collection. The other side of this particular paper had the ornaments with gears inside the ornaments. I'm going to use the full gear one. This is my favorite piece right here, is the checkered paper, and it's got a huge giant icon or image on the other side. I'm going to use the checkered, of course. And then this one, oh my heart, that is one of my favorites as well. Holly and gears, and it's one of my favorite things to do with gears is treat them as if they were flowers and then just add a bunch of leaves and things around them. I love it. I've also got an off-white piece of cardstock that I'm going to put the whole layout on, which I think was from Close to My Heart, called French Vanilla. And then I also have this chipboard sheet that is from the Christmas Spectacular 49 and Market kit that I used last year. And then I'm going to bring in my stencil from day 4 to help me with the background. Now, I picked out a ton of busy papers, and so I wanted to share with you guys a really fun way to add a lot of papers and a lot of busyness to your layout without having a lot of busyness and craziness going on. So the first thing I'm going to do is take these frames. Now, you don't necessarily need these frames to make this work. You can definitely cut your papers out of squares or circles, however you want it to work. And then once you get it on the layout, outline it with a pen, like a journaling pen, not too thick, not too thin. So that'll also help with this design as well. But I had all these frames and I had no clue what to do with them other than make the layouts the way that they were intended, but I've already used up all the supplies, and I happen to have all these frames hanging out and being left over. So better way to use, that made perfect sense. But what better way to use these frames up as in a layout? So I'm going to go ahead and frame up some of the pieces, and I'm going to do all the little ones in the exact same pattern, which is this adorable checkered pattern. I love this checkered pattern because inside it has teeny tiny itty bitty little snowflakes. It's so adorable. And then I split the larger frames up with the holly pattern as well as the geared pattern. And then I'm going to go ahead, and at first I thought I was just going to do a design along the side, and then I realized that my photos are quite large, so I'm going to probably need something over on the right side. Maybe I'll have my design going down the left side and my photos going and making a almost like a T on its side, right? So my photos are going to go off and over to the right. So that is kind of where my brain is going with this specific layout. I'm going to double mount my photos because I felt like they really needed some sort of frame around them. I did not have a wide enough piece, so some of the branding strip is on that plaid paper. It's okay. I think I have a way to cover it up, but I'm not sure yet. And you know me, I have to distress my edges. I'm working on it, you guys. Getting my edges distressed and whatnot, so that way I can make it a little bit more manly, right? Because this is two guys making a Christmas tree. I think they're stringing the lights, if I'm being honest, for this one. So my thought process was to go ahead and put the squares behind the photo to try to make it look a little bit more like it's scattered type of thing. But first, I need to turn all of these star wreaths, and I do plan on using all of them because they are my favorite, but I want to make them all the same color. The colors are way off, and I have a hard time just adding random colors to a layout. So I'm going to take all of these after I cut out the moons on the two purple ones. That way they're all just stars, and I'm going to just spray with my Distress ink spray and turn them all into black circles. And that is it for me. I was hoping that the other side would have all been off-white, because that would have been amazing, and I would not have had to spray any of these. I would have just kept them all off-white. But because they all were the same color on both sides, yep, I had to end up spraying them. So that is what I am going to do with them. And then I decided that the squares were a bit big, and the photos were going to cover most of them up. So I'm going to put the checkered inside the center of the geared squares. And I love this. I absolutely love how those look. And then I'm going to add a few more of the checkered squares, the checkered squares. Like I said, I did not even realize this was supposed to be a Woodgrain and Winter layout. So I'm sorry. Epic fail there. But I did finally get my printer working, so I am able to get back into business. And I realized my photos were too large. So I went ahead and I printed them again in a smaller format and dissected my double mat so I didn't have to waste more paper, and went ahead and used it to mat my two new photos. So that is how I'm going to fix and resolve the problem, because when I laid my large photos down, most of my stencil work vanished. They were taking up way too much space. I don't know why they even seemed bigger than they were. They seemed larger than 4x6. And so I don't know why, because the second mat was less than 4x6. So I don't know why they seemed so big. But I am loving the way that this layout is going to look as of right now. I'm going to go ahead and have my little frames or my little circle frames scattered throughout. So that way I have circles and squares. I love this. I am just squealing like a little schoolgirl over here, just absolutely in love with the way that it is all looking, and I'm trying to put it and keep it in the exact same order. So I'm just going to glue a little bit here, glue it together as in it's a cluster, and then try my hardest to keep everything the way that it is supposed to be, and keep it the way that it is. But because I'm putting chipboard on top of chipboard, I do have to add a little bit of foam in some places, so that way the chipboard doesn't teeter and then look like it's crooked. I want it to lay flat. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue everything down with my tape runner. I'm gluing all four corners down because I want to make sure that when I put it to the page, it's going to hold those circled frames down. And then that way I don't have to worry about getting glue smudged somewhere, because I did use a Distress ink in my stencil. And so of course, when it comes with anything that is wet, it's going to reactivate, and I didn't want fingerprints where I didn't want them. And then of course I didn't want it to look wonky, if that's even a thing. Like, I'm not sure exactly what I was looking for of what I didn't want it to look, but I just didn't want to mess up what I had going on, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add my pictures. I'm loving this. I'm so glad that I went with a smaller photo. I'm so glad that I have a printer now that works. Both of my printers, I ended up fixing them. I have never, ever heard of a printer's ink pad being full. Like, I've never heard of that. But apparently with these new eco tanks or eco tanks, where you keep filling it in instead of constantly replacing cartridges, it has like an overfill bucket full of cotton balls, and it gets full, then it registers. Well, if you don't send it in to go and get it fixed, then you can replace it yourself, but you have to go buy an app. I don't understand that. Like, now I have to pay, I think it's $9 a year for this app just to keep my tank 100% full. But you can get a one-time ticket, like key, and it'll say that it's 80% full. So once it's full again, I have to play this game again. Like, why? Somebody please explain to me why. Is this a deal? I don't know. It's my first time. I thought it was joking when it told me the ink pad was full. But I guess it's not, and it's a thing. There's even a YouTube video on it, you guys, because I had to look it up. And it is just, it's crazy. It's insane. All right. So I found these little green stars that were also on my chipboard sheet. So I thought, why not? I will add little green stars to add to my star wreaths. And then I had these little gears on the sticker sheet from the Graphic 45 collection. I thought they were great. I'm only going to use 2 cameras from my wood veneer because I really wanted to use the Polaroid and the pictures, the Polaroid pictures. I know Polaroid is a brand name. So the Instamatic camera with the Instamatic pictures, I wanted to use on a different layout. They're a little bit less Christmassy, if that makes any sense. I'm going to use 3 of these words. So it's going to say bright twinkle lights, I think is what it says, for what I come up with. Yes, twinkle, for my title. And then of course I found a label that said Christmas time. And so I went ahead and put that up almost like a pre-title, I guess is what it is. I'm not really sure. I know they call them subtitles when it's a littler word below the title, but what's it called when it's before the title? I don't know. And then of course I found these, I didn't find them, like I lost them, but they were in my little bin for Christmas. They are from the Simple Stories, I want to say Christmas Lodge is what it was called. It was a sticker book that I had purchased 2 years ago for that Christmas's collection that I used, or I should say December's collection that I used. This year, I know that I've said it before, but just as a reminder, I'm not picking a Christmas collection. I am just picking out pieces and bits that I already have and mixing and matching. Like I've pulled out Vicky Bouton, I've pulled out Graphic 45, 49 and Market, Simple Stories. I even think I pulled out Pink Fresh, you guys. Yeah, I think that was the one that I picked out. Anyways, oh, and Close to My Heart. I've got some old Close to My Heart Christmas papers too. So I'm super excited with using up my Christmas stuff and dwindling it down a little bit. So it's going to be fun. All right, so I have decided that that is all that I'm going to be putting on this specific layout. I had a blast. I love how it turned out, you guys. I wasn't really sure when I first thought of it, but I'm loving winging it lately. And not having a plan until I actually start creating with what I've got. So anyways, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it. Don't forget to go check out Janet Fritz's channel. I'm pretty sure she actually made a Woodgrain and Winter layout for today. And I think she's using today's Advent calendar goodies that she received as well. So go check out her video and see what she is doing. Also, too, don't forget to check out the playlist down below for Woodgrain and Winter and see everyone else that is playing along with that series. So don't forget to check that out. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much, and I'll check you later. Bye.